Yours?
Hello everybody and welcome into the Aurora Overwatch Clash Week 1 matchup between the cats. It's the cat fight here between, I'm going to try my best here, the Lachat de Chambord, the Lachat de Chambord, and the Buenos Beebles too. I refer to them as French kitties from here on out, but I gave it my best shot. I don't speak French. But I'll be Booney. Alongside me today is going to be Trey. And Trey, we've got ourselves a lot of curses going in the air here. Close to Halloween. It is the perfect time for this curse to be broken on either side. What do we got in store for us today?
Well, we got something interesting here. I mean, if you just look at both teams, right? Buenos Beebles, they played in Season 2, I believe.
That's
and when we were named the Overwatch League, and they got 0 wins the entire season. So, you know, they're on their second season as a franchise. Hoping to pull out a win this time, maybe make a playoffs, but we'll have to see. On the side of the cats, I'm just gonna call Les Chats de Chambord or whatever. The
Les Chats de Chambord. I think you're right, actually. I think you pulled it out.
Oh, okay. Well, they have Paige, who has been winless as a captain between 3 teams now, and they also have Eleanor Ringing, who has not won as a player yet, and has only won as a captain. So, you know, high stakes here. Potentially 3 winless curses being broken, or at least 1 of 3 winless curses will be broken.
You have the R's from both their squads here, so we are going to go ahead and move on here into our first map, which is of course going to be New Queen Street. You know, we've seen New Queen Street every single game so far this week so far in terms of our map pool, but you know, we haven't really seen too much variation in terms of compositions. It's been really heavily favoring that Zarya as well as perhaps that Diva, but just everything else, the Sojourn and the Ana, they're pretty standard here on this map.
Yeah, it's pretty basic. I mean, the meta's pretty. You have really 3 different things that you can play in the current meta, and you know, people in Aurora have been tending to lean towards those. Not too much flexibility. I feel as though this match in particular, though, could be one where some of that flexibility comes out.
Well, you know, we do say the flexibility, but then you got Fancy, who's, you know, best 2 characters are the Diva and the Zarya. So I'm guessing we're probably seeing a lot of that. The interesting factor we got bringing in here is we do have a ringer, Papa Triste, on the French kitties here. So it could throw a bit of a monkey wrench into things here, but you know, I don't know. And then you got Etc., of course, a professional Widowmaker in his own right. So looks to be blocking that instead.
He's rolling out on it. Yeah, this is kind of this variation. We do see like pretty standard in the meta sense, but Elliot is making the swap over to the Widowmaker. And then on the side of the cats, they are running a May Reaper, which definitely, the Reaper has been played with the Zarya in the past, in like Owl specifically. The May is kind of interesting. I think it could definitely get value here. It's got really good poke against the Widow, but we'll have to see how it goes.
Let's see how it goes. Both Zaryas here, of course, just poking and prodding for some energy around this statue. But Fancy 100 charge, looking to walk forward to Rusty Goopa, has to use that jump. And there's that May wall. Being a bit of a problem here for the Beebles. But both Emer Tempest, Arc Exchange, BBQ's going to drop first blood, though, as well as Triste lighting the kill feed here with 2 kills. Another curse talk about Triste getting their first win as a non-captain. They would be as a ringer, but they still get it nonetheless. It's still counting my books. And it looks like the chats are kind of starting up pretty strong here.
Yeah, interesting play. They kind of just played to let Fancy get charged, and once Fancy get charged, BBQ actually left him and started flanking. He ended up flanking, killing, I believe, the Baptiste as well as the Widowmaker. So, you know, an interesting strategy for sure, but I mean, that's kind of what you gotta expect from BBQ. He's known as that flanking support player.
Kind of what you gotta expect is to start moving forward here into the next fight. Willfish close in towards 100 energy shot here, looking to get that headshot in. Doesn't quite get it, but Etcetera's going to respond with a headshot of his own first here. Triste going to go down. That Team Force synergy showing up here yet again in the kill feed. The sleep is going to land on a BBQ as well, so that window really has no value here right now. But Fancy getting aggressive in the back on Etcetera finds a second one in this fight, but Fancy almost has a Graviton Surge. But Centurion might have cleared his fight enough. They don't have to use that. They're capped with no bubbles here. Going to get shredded down. Etcetera trying on this off angle to get another kill, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Etcetera, despite the heroics It's not enough for Centurion on Fancy light up the kill feed in the chat. Look like they're going to get this first checkpoint.
Yeah, although Elliot does get some value on the Widow, you know, Widow typically not standard here on this map and this comp. He does get 2 picks, however, it's kind of hard for his team to confirm kills. They don't really have much staying power after it. As we see, Elliot makes the swap over to the Soldier, opting to not use the Widow ult and just retain some of that ult charge.
And that's what that passive is for, right? It allows these competitions going faster, but a big grab comes in. It's a big one from Fancy. Locks down 3 members, as well as the anti from Rusty Goomba. Not going to be nearly enough, as the damage is there with Fancy with that high charge, just melting the opposition down. The Beebles are kind of struggling to get a foothold here in the defense.
Yeah, that's just an excellent realization. You know they don't have beat yet. Chambord is a lower SR support, so you know you don't really expect them to be super fast ahead of yours. With Paige, you expect them to be kind of close in it.
They're going aggressive in the backline here. Willfish uses that overclock as well as the grab from Protect. They lock down Fancy, take Fancy out of the fight. Centurion though responds with a blizzard of his own. The Icy Hot coming in here. Paige and Priest locks it as well with the Death Blossom and kills 2 within that blizzard. So there you go, that combo comes in. They use a lot of ultimates here, but a good response from the Shats against their aggressive push there of the Beebles, and we're going to last fight territory almost with Fancy coming back.
Yeah, Beebles also used a lot of ults there, so it's not like you you know, over wasted your ults. And if Fancy can get back before this fight starts, you can definitely win this fight and maybe even full cap.
We do have the window up from BBQ here. Centurion gonna poke through those with those icicles. The perfect murder weapon cannot be traced back, but Whalefish gonna find that headshot back to BBQ. And I think that's gonna be nearly enough here, especially if Paige might be able to find his pick on Exerta. No, the rockets are too strong there. And the visor on the flank is being engaged through the anti from Rusty Goomba as well. But a nice Maywall locks off that tactical visor from Centurion. You cannot glitch your way through the Maywall with your shots, only your body. Rusty Goomba does get that kill onto the Reaper, so it's lost sustained damage and a nice 18-8 onto the May Centurion right as he gets out of the block. Cannot get it back. And at 117 meters, finally the bot is getting pushed back in the Beebles' favor here, and the cleanup kills are coming in. We might get a bit of progress.
Yeah, that was almost a really good play from the Cats. They ended up committing beat, nearly turning that fight, even though they had lost BBQ early. However, some excellent bubble usage from Kath ended up saving Riley and clutches that fight up.
Here comes an early grab from Fancy, though. Locks down 3 members of the Beebles. And yes, as quick as it took the bot back, looks like they might lose it here. But the Nano is out on a Protect here, so thinks it's winnable here. Is Rusty Goomba. Except going to go down, but they've already lost BBQ, a huge anti-nade. It'll clean up that kill onto the Reaper here. And they're going to walk forward here, Protect with some nice energy. Centurion might look to get that wall up onto him, but without your DPS pressure of the Reaper, you might not be able to pressure Protect enough here. However, Chartron flying very weak here, and Rusty Goomba. Here comes a Blizzard from Centurion. They're going to get that kill on the Ana, and the freeze kill, the Frostbite, is going to get Kath out of this fight. And, I mean, despite the early picks or that early aggressor from Fancy on the grab, seems to have paid off with a fight win.
Yeah, Sent is looking really, really good on this May right now. Just a few stayer kills coming in. Sent using that May wall to temper aggression as well as Ice Block just to keep himself alive, keep himself healed up. And then these blizzards have been absolutely huge. I believe it's been a fight win every single blizzard. So if we can see that continue, it could be a very good pick for them.
Could be a good pick. Here comes the Sleep Dart. Not going to find anything but the ground, but we do have Protect here with the Ground Town Surgeon. Whalefish with the overclock. Here comes that grab. Stuck at the bus stop of Centurion behind the walls, but the bus isn't coming. It's just a one-stop ticket to Paynesville. As it appears, Fancy's the last one left here, and is going to just go down, try to build up towards that grab. Is going to have for next fight here. 4 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the time bank, but no progress yet here for the Beebles. They got to start pushing this fight, get some fights back to back here.
Yeah, that grab Sojourn ult combo just instantly wins that fight for them. Whalefish, it's pretty easy to hit those railgun shots when, you know, they're stuck in a grab. So he just goes through, gets 2 picks, and that practically just ends the fight right there. But we do have ults coming in.
And here comes another grab from Fancy. It locks down the entirety of the enemy Beebles, but Cass gonna get the first pick of Centurion. Still have the block, etc. Up on the train cars. Will have that visor and gets multiple kills here. Etc. Lighten up the kill feed. The old man still got it, both as a soldier. And, you know, Exeter's kind of a veteran in the league. Been here for a couple years. But finally, a great win here for the Beebles. It looks like we're going to get some progress here. The numbers off of 0.
Paige did end up getting bad spawn, so, you know, she'll be back in a little bit. Etc. took very good position in that fight and just had that off-angle visor, which, you know, visor, honestly, not a bad ultimate in Overwatch 2.
Really nice wall there from Centurion. Will force Cathect. She have to use both their bubbles, but Patrice's gonna go down. She had Wraith form, but still dies. Paige might re-engage here with a beat here, perhaps, but Cathect still has those bubbles and still high charged. Walking forward, melting down Centurion, who's both very critical. The Immortality field is forced out of BBQ. They have to retreat here. The French Keys are being forced back over the Grand Ocean and forced back to France here, it appears, as the white flags are living in this fight. But Fancy not quite giving up here, just poking and prodding here from behind. But the corner has been taken here. It appears Cass can have another grab, so this could be another fight win here for the Beebles if they get off fast. Here comes Patrice, though, with that ultimate will lock down Charbatron. So you lose out on that Lucio, and Paige engaged with the beat as well. You use a lot of ults there, but with 2 minutes 30 seconds left, any fight win is good.
That was such a good win for such a good ult from Papatriste. Kath ended up using the grab there, as well as they used Nano and Beat to try to, you know, stop this Blossom from her, but she ends up just killing them all through it. And, you know, that's a terrible fight to lose for the Beebles. All they'll have coming in is DPS ults coming into this next fight. However, Fancy does have a grab window combo to try to secure this fight.
And here comes out that window. Immortality is forced out pretty early here, though. So Kath is going to break that down, but the grab is there. Kath's locked down. Kath sent back to spawn. We do have Willfish, but gets dinked by Centurion's Icicles in the middle of that overclock, etc. Just getting that visor online. That's just Rusty Goomba throwing their life, throwing their body on the point, and it looks like that's gonna do it here for our map 1. It's gonna be a 127. No, we do have one more little stall contest here, but here comes a visor up from etc. Perhaps a pick, but BBQ's Immortality field is there. Papatriste forced to use that Wraith a little early in the fight. She is flying very weak. She's gonna go down there. So we do perhaps have a chance here as Rusty Goomba returns on the Moira as well. A lot of healing here for a sustained fight with Cathect on the ball, but getting just slowed here by Centurion as Fancy beams him down. Almost another Blizzard from Centurion, 5% away. Fancy 5% to that Graviton Surge, but they might not even need it as Paige like this to kill feed. Here comes a Blizzard to shut down the ball from rolling around on the point, and there you have it. You know, I called it a few seconds too early, but it's still going to be a point completion there. And Chat wins. Chat, that's you. You've won. Congratulations. But yeah, the French Kitties off to a good start here on their first map of New Queen Street.
Yeah, honestly, I think the standout players, obviously you're going to have Fancy on Lazaria. We expect him to, you know, pound, right? Obviously. However, I think Scent has been like the big, I'd say Scent and Paige have been kind of standout players this map. Scent getting a lot of value on that Mei, as well as Paige, you know, flexing to a hero that she's typically not comfortable on. Much more known for that Ana Lucio play. However, honestly, was kind of swagging out on the Lucio. I believe she got a couple fights where she had 2+, 3+ kills, which is honestly super impressive from her, because I know she doesn't really enjoy that hero, but seems to be flexing onto it for the good of the team.
Flexed out for the good team indeed. We'll be setting ourselves to a quick map break here, but don't go anywhere. Hybrid is next.
These beats are the purest. Prove it. These beats are the purest. Prove it.
And welcome back, everybody, to this cat fight, the legendary cat fight of curses here on Halloween time of the Aurora Overwatch Clash. We did the French Kitties taking our first map of New Queen Street in pretty dominant fashion, and that is by no means without Centurion here on the stats. When you take a look at these stats here, you know the damage isn't exactly a standout there with only 6k, but this is 16 final blows and 36 eliminations in 10 minutes, basically, that really stand out to me on a character he's not exactly known for.
Yeah, he's definitely more known for that like Pharah soldier gameplay, I'd say, almost on the DPS. And you know, I've seen him play mate bit in the past, but even so, even if you're questioning the damage of Scent, but I don't know, it's a hero that you don't really have to you know, get a lot of damage on. You're mainly playing it for the utility rather than, you know, the raw damage. But if you're putting up final blows like that, as well as dying that little, you know, you're getting a lot of value. So absolutely awesome performance from him.
And our next map for hybrid here is going to be Midtown, which I think is a pretty stellar map for Fancy and the Zarya yet again. I think, you know, Zarya is good everywhere at this point, but Midtown is one of those points, especially on A, that you can control his high ground train car and really put out a lot of work on the Zarya.
Oh, I really like the comp from the French Kitties here. They're running BBQ on Zen, a comfort hero, Paige on Ana, one of her comfort heroes, as well as Flea on this Genji. This comp looks absolutely amazing from them.
And now we have the Beebles running the same comp as last year. What is this illegal May maneuver? What the?
Oh my! Wait.
It didn't work, but it was cool nonetheless.
Wait, no, it worked.
Etc.
It's working.
Okay, it didn't work as Coach drew it up, but hell, I mean, you fumbled, but you still scored a touchdown. So I mean, it works nonetheless. BBQ hits him with the shocked face in chat. Excellent play? Question mark? With the May. I like the idea. The execution might use some break.
Yeah, honestly, you know, as Fancy said, meta theta strat, you know, they did the fancy May wall, but it basically got Elliot over the train car and it landed right on top of BBQ's head and did a whole bunch of damage to Paige and BBQ and eventually got the kill. So, you know, you can't knock it. You know, it worked. It worked.
Yeah,
sure.
I was like how him and Catherine that once I got over the train car, everybody else fell in front of it. But it works out because they reestablished and the battle squadron moved out. They got the pick, so works out. But now the high ground control here coming in for Le Chat de Chambord. But we do have Flea on the Genji, a signature hero for him. Cathal, kind of opposition here for us on an early immortality field, but it doesn't matter. BBQ has already got the pick on the Genji. It's a 1-for-1 on DPS here already, but the high ground still in control here for the chat. And BBQ's just pelting him in here with all these damage wards and discords. Now what he can really do is Rusty Gooba already falls, and BBQ with another pick this fight. Again, it's a signature hero, but that discord and the damage put out by Zenyatta is second to none here.
Yeah, on top of that, you also have a high charge Zarya just beating people down. This is a good looking comp for them. Putting Fancy and BBQ on signature heroes, like, this is scary. Whalefish does make the swap over to the Sojin from the May, already building close to that overclock, so we'll see. Maybe he pops off with it.
So wait and see. I mean, you got Fancy and BBQ in the signature roles, and I mean, Teresa's given a bit of a handicap by playing the worst character in the game right now, so you got to shout out to her. As a ringer, doesn't want to break the game, you know, carry on as her signature heroes of Genji or whatever, but how Teresa does have that high noon coming up here, but the cost moving in right underneath their noses right now, so they do have the Graviton Surge, but there's gonna be some responses here for the Beebles. They don't act fast, and speaking of acting fast, they get that pick on a Flea early here. Here comes a grab down, lock down the 4 main members. Here comes a high noon from over top. Oh, I can't quite get the kills that are also healthy because of Rusty Gooba. They do nano up Fancy here. They're going to take down Get but Rusty Gooba thinks it's winnable, throws down that window. Trying to get one more pick through it. They do find Patrice in the backlines, etc. It's just pelting him in the back, but a huge anti-nade from Paige. And the 3 Tree members, all as Fancy with the hard charge, just walk forward, just donk walk, and shred him down.
Yeah, you know, Flea does fall early, but, you know, maybe that's a benefit. they end up saving that blade, right? They're building towards another grab, so. And if you just have Fancy get nanoed, it might almost be better than a nano blade a lot of the time. Because, you know, a lot of the time the Lucio doesn't think, hey, I need to beat this nano Czar. They see a nano blade, they just hit Q, but, you know, Czar comes out nano, you're like, oh, she doesn't do that much, and then she just kills your entire team.
I mean, just look, Fancy has another grab because of that nano. Ward's gonna fall early here. The slow orb is there! That was his flea blade, uses the blade, but only once the Immortality field will find Wellfish, so it's a one picker from the blade, but not too much more. But BBQ is still in enemy line, and he just gets out. He gets the pick, and the trance is out. Okay.
Oh, okay. That's actually like huge for them. They get a good recontest here. They might even be able to catch out Cath or the supports here. Cath needs to start running, which he does recognize. War slightly out of position, should get punished here. But honestly, that is kind of a hero play from Flea and BBQ in there.
They know he's there. There's one. Yeah, the retreat mission didn't help. The Saving Private War did not come through. And Triste, I think that's the second fight in a row Triste's killed War with the stun grenade. So, hey, if it works, it works. I call it the worst character in the game, but maybe Triste's making me eat my own words. Overwatch League, take notes. But they're still kind of fighting this series, even down War, and here comes a grab from Fancy, 70 charge. But the Immortality field is placed by Rusty Goomba, so kind of a wasted ult there. As he's gonna walk forward, etc. with the Death Blossom, finds 2, finds 3. A bit of an overextension there from the French Kitties, and that might be their downfall on point B.
Yeah, BBQ hitting one of the signature flanks right now.
He's still there.
Yeah, he's chilling. We're gonna have to see if this works out, but Elliot just TP'd in the backline, dropped the spin maneuver, no one looked at him. And wins the team fight.
I don't think the flank's working.
It seems a little questionable to me, but
I mean, if I'm the Beebles, I just ignore him at this point. I just walk away. Okay, they finally found he made himself known. He's like, you can't ignore me if I just walk into you, and he died instantly. So
yeah, a little bit questionable. At least he's back with his team. And we do have a nano for Paige, so as soon as Fancy gets this charge, if he gets that nano on him, he'll just go and kill everyone. Because, you know, that's what Fancy does.
Oh, you mean, yeah, the best tank in the league, kind of what he does when he gets high charge, he kind of beams it down. But walking forward here, Cath 80% to a grab as well, so not done just yet by a big window combo here. Anti on the backline from Paige, but the Immortality feels even bigger. And Whalefish pelts him down with multiple picks, finds 2, finds 3, another with a slow orb. And now Paige and Flea, it's a last second ditch effort here. And it looks so good. Desperation Nano comes up, but they just grab the Genji on the point, and Whalefish with the overclock headshot to Paige. Fancy returns on the wrecking ball for a last second contest here, but BBQ is nowhere near that transcends here for this fight. Falling very weak is going to go down. Nobody's falling here on the side of Beebles just of yet. Fancy is there, try swinging on point. If they can stall for just a little bit longer, Flea has that blade, but the picks are here. Cath is lighting up the kill feed with that high charge. The Desperation blade gets nothing. Paige is there, trying to do anything with the Moira, but it's not going to work out, and it looks so good on point B. But the Beebles, after getting that, that overextension from the French Kitties, just kind of took advantage of it and just steamrolled to the end of C.
Yeah, they just snowballed it all the way through. French Kitties, they almost made a few hero plays. Ana landed a couple huge nades there. Paige nearly trying to clutch the fight. However, Whalefish went absolutely crazy in the Sojourn. I believe like throughout the last point, he got like 6 railgun kills or so. So if you're hitting shots like that, that's why Sojourn, Sojourn probably not getting a nerf this next split or whatever it's called, but most people think that she should be for that exact region right there.
Well, yeah, I think most people include about 100% of the Overwatch community. Yeah, we should. Guys, I think we need to look at Genji. As Sojourn is getting like 5 kills a fight with right-clicking. Yep. Oh, what is this TP strat on top of the train car?
Oh, they're doing this. Another illegal maneuver coming in here.
Oh my! You can tell this is Rusty Goomba's doing right there, because he's just standing proudly above his soldiers, commanding them what to do.
Yeah, he's giving them a quick speech right now, it looks like. They did choose this map for a reason. Maybe maybe they hadn't practiced New Queen Street even though they knew it was going to be played, and they're just like, what if we just hit the funny strats?
Yeah, they only played it for point A train car strats. That's the only reason they picked this map. Once it goes to point B, they're screwed. They have no idea what to do. But
they got this point on lock. And the Symmetra, I've been one tricking Sim actually on an account. It goes pretty well. I think Sim's actually kind of underrated right now. High-key.
Okay, they just go around him. Okay, this appears to have backfired as they've just taken the inside room, they've taken the mini control, and now BBQ is there on a bit of an off ankle, able to pelt in these damage orbs as well as Discord, but etc. is in deep here. Use the Wraith to get back to his squadron, but put in some damage on a BBQ. Forces a bit of a rotation here, slight rotation, but Fancy high charge here. Both bubbles are expended, so if they push in here, they could potentially get this kill to Fancy, but a good nade from Paige keeps him up in the back line, but Tracy's gone down, and etc. is in on the Reaper. I mean, etc. is just kind of being a gremlin right now, and it's working out for him very well as multiple kills come through and a fight win here for the Beebles.
Yeah, that's the power of the Reaper against this comp. You don't really have any CCs anymore, like directly, like you don't have a shield bash or you don't have a flashbang, you know, just stun him up. So he just kind of goes in, flanks for a little bit, tries to execute a kill in 2 to 3 shots from the flank, and then, you know, just breaks out and just keeps doing it. And, you know, if the shots they Chambord do not take any initiative leaving that room, you know, he's just going to be able to keep doing that, and eventually he's going to get value.
Yeah, let's just to Chambord. I was trying to make a pun out of French, but I don't speak French, nor do I think I spelled it correctly at all, or pronounced it at all, so it's not going to work out. But a window up from Rusty Goom on top of the train car forces a really weird positioning here from the Shats. They're kind of forced to hide under this train car and can't take any space, and this is draining that clock. It's kind of what they're going for here on this point A attack or point A defense, and it's working out very well. Triste flying very low, forced to retreat, takes some attention away from Fancy here. Can't go very aggressive without those Ana heals. Fancy's kind of all by himself right now. They're gonna solo grab him on basically the fire truck. He's all alone. He's gonna go down. They lose etc. But that's good enough. Here goes Flea with the blade, Nano Blade in the back line. But finds one. They had the beat. I'm not sure why they didn't decide to investigate. The time field was not good enough as Flea cleans up the fight with 3 kills here. Might get a 4th. Nope, Triste is gonna steal that one with a right click to the dome. But Flea opens right up. They lose Fancy, but does not matter.
Yeah, good play from Flea. Flea, you know, signature hero is this Genji hero, so this is like the perfect meta for him to play this DPS role. So, you know, he ends up getting value off the Nano Blade, a very good combo. I'm a little confused why they didn't commit beat. I didn't see the exact times whether he had it when the blade went out. I'm going to assume he did, and they just decided not to commit it. I guess you were already down Reaper, so they might have just thought it wasn't worth it.
Either that or they called Immortality Field's going to come out first, and he quite wasn't in position to get the best Immortality Field. But BBQ, okay, meets the slow orb, just looks at his dead in the eyes and just... Okay. Interesting. But they are going to go forward and push very aggressive here on this. Is going to be the Beebles as they get Fancy. And yeah, etc. on this Reaper, you know we know etc. is the Widow player, but very solid hit scan all around as well. And the Reaper on the Cassie, anything it appears that takes aim, you know, Reaper, not really known for aim, but you know what I mean. Very aggressive DPS player, good player hit shots.
All I'm saying, Reaper season whenever I had the Galapagos Gremlins,
Hey.
I was listed as a hit scan player off of my time of playing Reaper. So, you know, hit scan god can play Reaper because he's a hit scan hero. Let's go.
We do have a lot of ults on both sides here. Window out from Rusty Goomba here to take control of this high ground. It looks like it's working right now. I mean, Flea is just poking from the side, but the slow orb comes in yet again on this corner, and they can't do anything. They do get a slight push on the cart from Fancy. Fancy can kill etc. as well, and he decides to invest the ground town surge. Here comes the beat out from War, but Rusty Goomba does not long for this world. They're going to trade out on supports here, and Cath's going to go forward here. They do have the overclock. Should have decided to invest it here, but Cath also the grab, but can't quite get it off. It's just trading back and forth right now, but Fancy is still alive on the point, high charge, and beaming down his opposition as Paige keeps him up.
Whalefish tried his best to win that fight, got a few picks, however, Fancy just stays alive, has high charge, and just eventually runs him down. Picture being traded. Eleanor makes the swap over to the Reaper. Maybe a little bit more for that brawly style looking to play, but we'll have to see how it goes.
Here comes the grab, and etc. is going to find one on the BBQ. Both supports are down as well as Flea, and unlike, you know, the point B defense of the Shats, this one actually survives past the underpass.
Yeah, I'm wondering, quick question. BBQ has built trans this round, right?
You'd
maybe
think
doing a little bit too much flanking.
I mean, you'd think by default, just by time, he'd have it at this point, right? He's had to have tranced.
Right, and maybe I just didn't notice it. He's had to. Okay. Whalefish is kind of going crazy right now. He just keeps getting pick after pick.
And it's always on BBQ as well. It's a smile from BBQ. You know, we were talking a bit earlier before the cast. I'll at least look, but BBQ is known to have a bit of a tilting aspect. So maybe it's coming early here, but never mind. No tilting needed as Flea is clutching it with 2 kills with a Nano Blade, etc. Hiding in potted plant, but not gonna be nearly good enough.
Great play from Flea. A hero play from him. Ends up turning that fight even when they lost the Zen. And now they do have this Transcendence ready to maybe even counter Whalefish's ult. Doesn't feel great countering it with a
touch here?
We'll have to see.
They're gonna get a touch, and here comes the overclock from Whalefish. The trance investor from BBQ, he did builds, but Whalefish gets the kill. So it's not done just as of yet. Riley uses the window as well. The Reaper's in the backline, but gets melted by Whalefish through the window. It is a 3 kills though from Fancy BBQ in the backline. Will it be enough to spawn an advantage here? But BBQ's getting the kills. BBQ's lighting up. He's 1 trance, and now he's blocking in the DPS. 4 picks for BBQ.
By the BBQ, you know? Either he swags out or
it's feast or famine. Feast or famine.
Yeah. Feast or famine with him, and you know? When he does feast, though, he pounds. Great play from him. Transcendence into the enemy team's backline and ended up killing for that fight, so... However, ults are going to be online first for the Beebles, so this might just have to be a ult building fight for the Shotstay Chambord.
Oh, they lose trees there earlier as well. That's not a good start here for the Shats as they're trying to build towards the ultimates like you said, because they gotta get it with time in the bank or it's gonna be a draw only situation. But they're playing aggressive here. The Beebles, they know the situation, they know the win condition. Just get it to overtime if possible, or win the map outright. So this could be what they're looking for. And Etc. and War are approaching these ults as well. They do have grab, but Kath being patient with it, not deciding to use it just as of yet. BBQ almost has trance here for it though. The grab comes out. Can they get a pick before the trance comes out? No, they cannot! The perfect time for a trance here from BBQ. And they're going to pick off War as well. The Immortality Field comes out, but the grab is there to lock them all down. Whalefish going for top tree stay, but it's 2 for 2. But Fancy getting the kills with that Graviton Surge, but you have Nano Blade, but 30 seconds remaining in the time bank. This could be an overtime push.
Yeah, they actually need to finish building this Nano Blade. Nano's still 10% away, and Ultimate's recharge slower in Overwatch 2, so I don't even know if they're going to get it. It's going to be very close timing. They need to cap with time.
And they're playing this slow. I mean, War's going to have beat for this Nano Blade as well, so it might not get the value. War playing extremely weak there, but not going to get the kill. Tree gets shut down by Whalefish. A huge play. They're going to decide to go aggressive here with the beat. The Nano Blade comes out from Flea, but he's not going to get anything for his troubles when he gets 1. No. Okay, so doable here as Fancy's turned out for 1 as well. The preschoolers are coming in and getting the kills. Somehow, they turn it around. They get 2 kills. Page is going to go down to Rusty Gubos. The portal combat has been engaged here with the win on the card, but it's just etc. But the Reaper guy might be enough here. It's not, as BBQ is lining up the kill feed yet again with the Orbs of Discord. There's no harmony here for the Beebles as they're getting sent straight back to spawn from BBQ, but Kath returned, and now we have a last toss going through. It's desperation time, and Kath on the point, getting healthy, finds 2 kills. Will it be enough? It's still going. This is a crazy. I don't know who to spectate. Whalefish is returned on the Tracer. Flea flying extremely weak, but Moira is there from Paige, lighting up, trying to get some healing on that Genji. Built towards anything. The ball has returned the point as well, but we do have Whalefish as well as a Suzu out from Riley. It doesn't matter, as again the preschoolers, the young guns, are lighting the kill feed here for the Shats. I mean, etc. It's such a back and forth fight. Eventually things spawns with win here. Cat has a grab as well. Fancy lockdown, cannot roll around. They get 2 kills, etc. Somehow!
They do
the clutch gene from the Beebles, something I never thought I'd say in my life. And they've won our second map, and we've got ourselves a series, ladies and gentlemen.
For the first time in franchise history, the Beebles have clutched a map. Great play from them. You know, people really haven't figured out how to play Kiriko yet, we'll say, right? However, one thing she's excellent at is the stall. Riley comes back on the Kiriko, literally just TPs from spawn onto point, Suzu's, and no one can die for a second. You know, that's so much value right there. And then, you know, hero plays from everyone. Flea and Fancy did their best. They each got like 4 picks or something that fight, and the stall just came through. Great play from the Beebles, clutched it up.
And we're going to go ahead and send ourselves into a map break. Do not go anywhere. Escort is on the horizon. We are tied 1-1 in this series. The cat fight. It's not disappointing so far.
These beats are the purest. Prove it. These beats are the purest. Prove it.
All right, welcome on back, everybody, to the cat fight of Aurora Overwatch clash between the French Kitties and the Buenos Aires Beebles 2. We are going over on Route to 6, and we had a really good map showing for the Beebles after their kind of lackluster forwards on New Queen Street, and that kind of comes back to that DPS play. We want to highlight Etc., who was exceptional on that Reaper and almost kind of, pinnacle to that real, or the pinnacle to the aggressive playstyle we saw in the defense and the attack. You can see here 21 final blows on the Reaper with only 9 deaths. So really good showing from him so far on the Reaper guy.
Yeah, you know, I just thought of something. So you know how like Al has like the battle for Texas between Dallas Fuel and like Houston Outlaws? Can we have like the battle for the litter box right now for these teams?
You know what? I'll take it. I'll run with it. I've been going with Catfight because of nothing else, but I think the battle for the litter box is, or should be the battle of the scratch towers. You know, you never know.
Oh, I remember when Rory ate food on his cat tree once. It was very interesting.
All right. A story for another time. But we are going into Route
On
66
the widow.
as this map, and yes, yeah, we can see etc. on that main pick of the Widowmaker. See if we can get an early pick. Doesn't look like they're playing train cards. They're playing the smart Willfish on the Genji. Not something we see from him very often as well. Centurion back on the mate, which you highlighted in week 1. And yeah, BBQ's getting a big ante as well from Rusty Goomba as they're all up there. Kath jumping up with Centurion with a nice May wall. Locking Willfish Genji in there. Can't really do too much. I mean, etc. on the Woodmaker has 0 sightlines right now. There's nothing you can really do.
Make a swap. Which it looks like it's going to come through here. Onto Pharaoh to break the spawn hold.
I like that pick. A huge ant-nade. 3 people anted up, and that's gonna follow it up with the dive in here, going aggressive. With Centurion gone, that May being annoying, the May walls are gonna be gone, and the Varro's a good swap there. There's just so much pressure on this front line. Forces Fancy out, forces out Eber Tuffield early, and a big anti again from Rusty Goomba. 84% to a nano already, then powering out the healing and the damage.
Yeah, you know, one way to counter the Baptiste pick is just anti them every fight. You know, Baptiste does a lot of healing by if they're purple. Kind of hard to heal them.
It's a late stagger as well in the BBQ.
Yeah, absolute domination coming in. Fancy making the swap over to the Diva to directly counter the Monkey, as well as probably eat these anti-nades coming through. So I like the swap overall. It shouldn't change up their team comp too much, as well as should just be overall 1-for-1 better here.
I like the swap, but you're also losing out on Fancy's just absurd amount of damage generation. So can this, really come through? I mean, Diva can put out a lot of damage as well, but not as much as a high charge Zarya in this meta. But the anti comes through, not gonna find anything here, but the nano is in. Cass gonna go hard with the permit, but a big sleep from BBQ, making us up over on to the honor for this fight. But there's a lot of critical members as Fancy loses out on that mech. Rusty Goomba showing up on the kill. Phoenix certifying extremely weak here. BBQ's gonna get that kill. The nano is in on the whiff, and here comes the nano play, but Paige shuts it down with the boop. The power of sound, and here comes the beach to follow it up. Oh my, that was a great showing from the support line there of the shots. I mean, yeah, BBQ sleeping the primal, and then Paige booping Whalefish, giving it tinnitus, and shutting down the Nanoblade.
She also built up a very, very fast beat there, and as soon as they killed the Nanoblade, usually you'd want to counter it, but she's instead able to use that forward tempo right there. Drops the beat, they go in hard, and, she wins that fight for them. So, great showing from the support line. We'll have to see if the back line of the Beebles can keep doing that. Can do that as well.
A lot of ults building up from both sides, but Fancy shuts down etc. in the sky. We're probably good to see a swap here because I don't think you're getting anything that's barrage anyway. So I don't think it's worth hanging on to this character. As Fancy is now being a very annoying here, eating the shurikens, booping the monkey damage, and just putting in the work today, young man. Papa Triste following up with the kill feed with the final blows. They do lose on scent, but yeah, this late second Rusty Goomba is pretty. How's oh, yep. Yes, why need a swap?
Okay, yeah, we're definitely.
I mean, you got 2 kills that fight, so shout out to you, but
yeah, we're gonna see the swap coming through. But yeah, makes the swap over to the Widowmaker, back to the classic hero. But Riley lived a very long time there for no reason, which kind of sets up etc. to get those 2 kills, which kind of prevents this close hold from coming in. Usually you want to hold a little bit more space than the Cats are doing right now, but they can't do that because of those picks.
And Nano Fancy's going to go hard aggressive in the back mode. Has already opened it up with a shot, and Papa Triste says a 1-for-1 right now. Cat flying very weak. They use the Transcendence and the Blizzard and the Bomb. Whalefish ain't going anywhere today. As a very aggressive die comes through. I mean, Exeter's got 2 picks this fight, but there's just 13 seconds left, and Sense is just freezing down Claw in the back. The Zenyatta stood no chance against the freezing icicles.
Yeah, I actually thought Claw or Phoenix made a very good play there. He ended up killing the Diva mech, forcing Diva Bomb and getting the trans off for the Blizzard. However, the Bomb ends up finding one, and they just can't sustain long enough. So, tried to make a hero play there, almost made it, didn't end up working. Great hold for the shots de Chambord.
The shots de Chambord. looking very aggressive here, very stout on their defense. And, I mean, it is Rooster to 6. You know, that is a very point A holdy kind of map. You know, a lot of escort maps actually now in Overwatch 2, you see a lot of teams not even get to point B a lot of the time. So it's not the end of the world just of yet, because you got basically to the end of point A. So if you can get to that big Earl's holding area where a lot of teams get stuck on Route C6, it's not over just of yet for the Beebles. And, you know, from what we've seen, their defenses have been better than their offenses anyway.
Yeah, and, you know, Elliot's making the swap for the Reaper. I think this might end up doing a little bit more. I think you kind of live or die by the Widow, whether you kill 4 or fight. And the Pharah was a great pick to break this spawn hold. Maybe stayed on it a little bit too long, especially when Fancy goes Diva, but if he's on the Reaper and he puts in as much work as he did on Midtown, they could definitely hold this map. Sunt teasing a little bit of an Echo. Not the best hero, but one of Sunt's better heroes, like on his own. And with the Diva, I think this could actually work pretty well.
See if he decides to stick on it, or maybe just doing a bit of a scouting job with the Echo, but kind of hanging out in spawn right now. Might be looking for a swap. I can't tell. No. He's sticking on it for now. He came out of spawn with it, so a good start. Perhaps just to break the spawn hold. That could be the play here as a big sticky goes in, but the bubble there from the Cathector is going to eat up all that damage and give himself some plenty of charge. And Fancy kind of had a big disadvantage here on the Diva, but going around town to the back line. Immortality forced early out from Rusty Goomba. Whalefish going to draw first blood here onto the Reaper. But I mean, Sense got stuff on his off angle right now, and the Beebles look to be kind of struggling right now, but never mind. Whalefish is struggling to hit these shots, as that's 2 picks here for him this fight.
Yeah, good play from Whalefish. They're doing this spawn hold pretty well. I mean, all you're trying to do right now is just waste as much time as possible. You'll still get a fight on top of Earls. So no matter what they do, even if they lose this fight, they're going to get a lot of value from here. Set making the swap over to the Pharah. Try to break this like Elliot did.
And, you know, the Beebles, knowing that they played the far themselves, they know how to counter it, which is just walk away. Doesn't matter though. Centurion is going to find Rusty Goomba outside his Immortality field, and they're going to go very aggressive here. Here comes Centurion with the Barrage. His second pick that fight. Going to get 2 here. But you did get about a minute off the clock if you are the Beebles, so it's not the end of the world. And now again, they're on this weird Pharah comp, which you saw didn't work very well for your attack either. So maybe that was your plan all along.
Yeah, although Cath is not making a swap over the Diva to counter it. You're going to be kind of reliant on Whalefish as well as Rusty Goomba to take down this Pharah.
Look at Paige.
But they do have some ults. Yeah.
Vibing.
Yeah. Hitting the mad vibe right now. Holding space actually pretty well. This is kind of a good play for them.
But they find BBQ, they find the alpha threat, they go taking down for the nano boost in on the Fancy. Immortality field is invested here as well as the beat. A lot going in here to stop this dive from Fancy, but the bomb gets chucked out and you're gonna find Claw. The squish, not quite gonna be there for Fancy, but it doesn't matter, there's already been done. Whalefish flying very weak in the back. Fancy gets that pick as well. And Cath using that Graviton Surge, locks down Paige, etc. with the Reaper ult. Triste is like 1 HP out of this Wraith form and goes down. And now it's just Fancy trying to do something against Rusty Goomba with the Immortality field, but just jumps away. The Exo Boost, he's going to the moon, ladies and gentlemen. The Diva Thrusters can't quite reach him. And now Fancy's gonna get staggered out for 2 seconds.
Great play from Riley living there. If he dives there, the shot stay Chambord can easily push back in and, you know, control a bunch of space, maybe even just cap straight off that. However, with Riley surviving there, you're able to continue holding the space, and, you know, this hold that, you know, looked pretty difficult at the beginning, you know, they didn't full cap. It's looking very doable now.
And yeah, that was a huge beat from Claw as well to keep Riley up in that fight when they had that Nano Diva in his back line. I mean, Centurion has the Barrage here again, but you're going in this sunk cost fallacy yet again that the Beebles found themselves in. This Barrage isn't going to be really worth it, I don't think, because they have the Immortality field to deal with as well as just the pure damage that you have to face as you go down. Oh, Whalefish almost gets that headshot, almost gets that pick here. We'll have the overclock as they look to engage. BBQ going a bit of a flank angle here. You can see him going towards the back of Big Earls, but Rusty Goomba using that window force up Papa Trice's Wraith very early. She can't really engage here anymore. And now Whalefish is just pelting the damage to this window. They haven't used this overclock just of yet. The window just buys time. That's all you want. The overclock is invested here. Centurion flying very weak. Here comes a Nano Diva in the backline to shut down the overclock. We'll find Riley. Here comes the Barrage as well. They want to get the kills. They will. Centurion, I said wasn't worth it, but gets 2 kills. Here comes the DPS ults from the Shats, and they're going to find 2-3 kills with those ultimates. And now, it's last fight. There might be another contest, though. especially with Claw right there. I didn't see him.
Yeah, Claw is going to get this contest here, and they can get a decent engage. However, this Diva Bomb could be big. Elliot's coming up on this Blossom, though, as long as they can live for it.
Yvonne could be big. That just returned to the point here. Here comes Riley as well on the not gonna. The Kiriko doesn't find him, but a pick on a BBQ could be massive here if this fight goes on much longer. But it doesn't look like it's gonna happen. The bomb is there. Oh, it gets two on top of the cart.
And that's it.
And that's gonna do it for Route 66. You know, a bit of a sweat fest there at the end for the Chambord. But they are gonna get it and send us to a map point. But you know what? It's not a dominant win by any means necessary.
Yeah, the battle for the litter boxes, kind of a close game here, First map, kind of pretty dominant in the shots favor, the shots de Chambord. However, they lost Midtown. They barely won this map, so I could definitely see this going all the way to a map 5 here.
I could as well, and we'll have to see if that happens on the other side of this break. Don't go anywhere. The battle for the litter box is not disappointing so far.
These beats are the purest. Prove it.
Lucio's bugged, so I can't use Page, so we're gonna do BBQ instead. Because he has a special character in his name and it freaks out the PC.
These beats are the purest. Prove it. These beats are the purest. Prove it.
All right, everybody, and welcome on back to, as my amazing colorcaster dubbed it, the Battle of the Litter Box between the French Kitties and the Buenos Aires Beebles 2. And, I mean, this match is living up to the hype. You know, there's a lot going into it. The behind the scenes, you had the winless curses going around for both these teams. Preferred Data Center, unavailable, of course, no Gun Central. I love this game, but yeah, I mean, it's really living up to it. That map 1 was a bit disappointing, but the last 2 maps have really been bangers.
Yeah, a good series there. Could have gone either team's way. We had, you know, some fair shenanigans from both teams. One of the fair comps eventually worked, ended up working a little bit better. Maybe we can blame, you know, the Diva hero. That could have been a big cause of the lack of success. But overall, BBQ absolutely swagged out him on. Only died 3 times that map, as well as got a decent amount of healing done.
Yeah, the healing is there, and then probably the Zen stats are a lot more damage, you know, compared to that. But our next map is going to be Busan as we head in here to our next map. The Battle Litter Box is indeed bussin'. Yes, I had to do it. Anyway.
Yeah.
Well, they both called Mercy Gap time, and none of them are Mercy. So, Prod, I see you guys. You know, you're trying to bait me a little bit. Not going to work out, though, as Cass can get that first pick at Centurion. A nice headshot from Whalefish. Think open that up, though. Got him very weak there. As now Whalefish has control of this high ground, of this point, and is putting in a lot of damage as Kethek yet again with a final blow here. BBQ throws on the Desperation Mortality Field. See if they can't get a cheeky little capture. The ones in their windows aren't here, but I'm still doing the accent anyway. Not going to quite work out for him, as now the support line is kind of just running around trying to stay alive, and it might not work out too much longer. BBQ is just... Okay. BBQ got the kill, but it's not going to be worth it whatsoever.
Yeah, you know, about halfway through that, he decided my team didn't need healing, and he went after the Widow. I respect it. Nearly killed... if he insta-killed the Widow there, he could have turned that fight, but Elliot makes the swap over to the Reaper. Getting off that Widow got a lot of value right at the beginning, but, you know, maybe he's just like, I'm just going to reduce the amount of value BBQ can get to just walk Reaper.
If he insta-kills the Widow or takes 15 minutes to chase after him on the high ground, could be a factor too. Here goes a Maywall, though, from Centurion. It's very well placed, but Immortafiel is there from Rusty Goomba. Jumps over that wall to keep the team alive. But the Reaper diff is asserted here from etc. But they do get Trey and Whiplash, just 1-for-1 on DPS right now. Centurion playing extremely weak right now. But the Immortafiel from BBQ keeps him up and keeps him in this fight. A nice grab early from Fancy here. That's a 1-for-1 yet again, but the grab is going to be enough here to turn this fight in favor of the Shats, as Fancy just gets a grab just a few seconds for Centuria, or a few seconds for Kithek, and is able to lay it out and get the team fight win.
Yeah, the benefit for the Beebles is that they already accumulated 44%. They have Grav him in this fight. They're leading in the Blossom charge. They have Sojourn ult, another very powerful ultimate, and you know, Lucy ults are pretty similar. Grav comes through early though.
The early grab thrown out there from Connect Force on Immortality Field, but no kills come out of just as of yet. Both Immortality Fields are traded out, but Centurion's going to go down, and here comes the overclock from Whalefish. Kath moving forward, getting 3 kills. Whalefish was simply just a distraction. This BBQ is still there on point, but can't get the kill, etc. Gets the revenge.
Let's go.
And a quick flip here for the Beebles.
Yeah, very quick flip. You know, the Cats did not accumulate that much percent, only at 36. So, you know, they have a lead coming in here. They have the Blossom. Beat coming up soon. It's going to be up to Centurion to land a huge blizzard here.
Exoda's behind him with the Blossom as well. He goes in for it, forced out an early Immortality Field, but still gets a kill anyway through the May wall somehow, and gets a kill on Centurion. That's a 2-kill, 2-piece, extra crispy there for etc. And the DPS line for the Beebles coming alive there as Whalefish cleans up with 3 real shots.
That's only one fight, or one ultimate use too. They still have the beat coming up, window be coming soon. However, this is kind of the shot station Chambord fight to win. They have a lot of ults coming here, almost all 5 Qs, and you know, based on one person that said at 5 Qs beats 1 Q. So,
I mean, it
yeah.
has to be the fight, right? There's Etcetra's in the backline. BBQ used the window berry in an awkward spot. And they're going to get picked off for it. Here comes the Blizzard on the point for the beat from Charmers there to keep the team alive, nice and healthy. And nobody's in the beat either. There's not playing the point. Now they're getting the pick. Fancy dies. Head grab. Cannot use. And Paige, did she Ajax? I didn't see anybody get the armor.
I think she Ajaxed.
That's a disaster. I mean, yeah, you had 5 ults. You could only use 3. And none of them got value.
I mean, still 3 Qs should be 2 Qs.
What a proactive play. I mean, that honestly goes back to the Beebles. That was a really excellent play for the Beebles. Because, I mean, Centurion used the Blizzard, but they just say, okay, we have 90%. Let's just lead the point. And they do, and they go get some kills. They kill Fancy is up on his lonesome there. And, I mean, they Ajax Page, so it's just... That's kind of that's a tilted round right there if you're the Shats. That's kind of...
Yeah.
It's kind of angering, honestly.
You feel like you should have won that. You definitely deserved the fight win there, but you know, a little bit of proactive play, some hero plays coming in from the Beebles ends up carrying that.
Etc. had such a well-timed flank there. We caught it on the prod. You know, right as BBQ threw that on the window, Etc. was there behind him, forced out early Immortality Field. They didn't have that for Fancy when he got aggressive in the backline. So again, I think Etc. on the Reaper so far has been an excellent player for this team. But we're here. Anthony comes up from BBQ, locks down 2, but there's no Immortality Field now. Rusty Goomba has that advantage. As they play pretty aggressive here. Oh, nice sleep as well from BBQ. 2 cooldowns hitting pretty strong here. Immortality Field is forced out and instantly destroyed, and falling very weak here is going to be the Beebles, and they're going to be forced back to spawn as the Shats a really strong push there for that first fight win.
Yeah, BBQ lands 2 big nades and a sleep there. Ends up kind of carrying that fight. You know, already getting more value than he did on the Baptiste. I kind of like this swap. It gives BBQ a little bit more playmaking potential here, which, you know, for a player like him, that's good. It's definitely good. So
he got the sleep on a Whalefish and a 3-man anti is there. That was huge. But the slow orb is well placed from Whalefish, and they're going to get Fancy down very weak. They can't get healed up. It's a 2-for-1 right now, but you lost your Zarya. BBQ pumping out as many heals as possible. Cat's going to eat that Anthony by himself, but here comes the push. And Whalefish going to find Paige, and that's going to be another quick flip here for the Beebles on this point. And oh my, BBQ is trying one last desperation nade for the boys back home. Gonna get 3, but look at the 0 ults used there and a fight win.
Whalefish getting a lot of value on the Sojourn hero. A pretty good hero indeed. But it's kind of, you know, a battle of whether does BBQ's nades, do they get value? Do they get a kill?
The grabs are exchanged, but Immortality Field is there. It doesn't matter though. It gets broken in 2 kills here in favor of the Shats so far. They do find Tree State, but it might not matter. Goomba uses the wall, uses the window, gets nothing for his troubles, and another big anti-nade on the Cathek, gonna send Zarya back to spawn. And a lot of ults used there. The Zaryas use the ults at the exact same time, but yeah, there's gonna be another fight win here for the Shats, and look at Fancy 65% already to his next grab.
Yeah, building it extremely fast. Whalefish does have the overclock here. Paige does have a beat to match it. You know, combining words there, but we'll have to see whether he can burn through it. Maybe he just gets an early pick. Potentially Ajax Page. That can happen. Overclock, very good ultimate.
Oh, the wall is big. Locks out 2 players. Here comes the overclock up from Whalefish. Gonna find 1, but might not be enough. Page using that beat. Doesn't get Ajax this time. Exoda forced to use that Wraith form very early, and Fancy very high charge, has the grab, thrusts it down, finds 3, here comes Trey with the follow-up! Gonna find 2 of the Death Blossom. I mean, that's a lot of ultimates used there, and there's still some fights left. It might have been a bit of an over-investment at the end there.
Yeah, I think it potentially could have been. I think they just win that with the grab. I think they could have won that without it, but I think the grab, use it just to secure the fight. However, the Blossom might have been a little too much. But at the rate that Fancy's charging ultimates, you know, you're going to expect at least 1 before this round ends.
Another sleep from BBQ. Whalefish is 1 HP and anti-nated.
70% too? 75% to grab?
Oh, but here comes Elliot with the Wraith in the backline and gets the kills! Yes, he does! Finds 2, both supports are down. That was like the longest setup ever. It's like watching a car crash in slow motion.
Oh, Fancy?
Fancy gets 2, and Centurion's back here. Centurion's a 2v1 the point. But the healing is there from Chambord trying to keep capped up here. And they
kind of just... Oh, yeah.
I mean, they only got the grab here, so... Not good.
Yeah. Fancy walks through, kills 3 that fight, and, you know, builds up another grab. They have grab, nano combo, Riley making the swap over to the Kiriko. Potentially looking to kind of mitigate those antis, maybe get an early pick in here. It's kind of interesting swap that could get a lot of value, or it could fail dramatically.
It's a really nice Graviton surge up from both our Zarya's here, but the kill feed lights up red, as well as the blood on the floor from the Shats as the Beebles take an aggressive fight and get the win. They only had the grab, and that's all they needed. And now you force a grab out of Fancy and the Nano as well. They have nothing on either side. It's the last fight territory, and the Beebles have positioning.
Yeah, this is going to be a desperation fight for the side of the Shots de Chambord. No ults for either side, however, Scent theoretically could build up to this block, or this Mailed, which could end up winning it for them, but more than likely no ult fight, but Fancy gets an early pick.
Yeah, charge on composition there. The Immortality comes out from Riley from Ostagumba, but a big pick on a tree stay there. As Whalefish is just radical sliding in the backline, but a big anti-nade up from BBQ is going to stop Exoder in his track, but it's still a trading fight back before they lose out on Fancy as well. So it's not done just yet, and especially because Rosagumba still in this fight with Calf. With all that high charge, Charbotron has returned to the fight after getting picked early here. Gonna get melted down, but again, they lose BBQ. Blizzard. Here comes the Blizzard coming out, but the teleport from Rusty Goomba. 95% to the Kitsune Rush. Can they get it off? Whalefish has the overclock there on the high ground, tries to lock him down, but he's getting booped around by Fancy and the Wrecking Ball. The beat comes in from Page as well, but they lose on Pot Tree Stay. The Kitsune Rush is in on the point. Page falling very weak, and they C9!
C9!
They C9!
The Beebles win the map.
We're going to map 5 in the battle over the litter box. Wouldn't have it any other way.
That was nearly tragic for them. Kath actually ended up missing the grab in that fight. Kind of, you know, zoning. Maybe it was a zoning grab moment. Drops the grab on point. Everyone walks off point to avoid it. They C9. You know, that was actually just a big brain play from Kath. So great play from him.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are going into a map 5. And it's going to be push again, which we saw very dominant showing on New Queen Street from the Shats. But we'll have to wait and see what they got cooking up for us here. Can the Beebles bring it back and win on push? You have to wait and see after this map break. Don't go anywhere. Our first map 5 of the season, and you do not want to miss the end of it.
These beats are the purest. Prove it. These beats are the purest. Prove it.
All right, and welcome back into the battle for the litter box. It is 2-2 right now. We are going into our second push map. It'll be the first time that in Aurora that we are going to see Coliseo. We did see the Beebles taking our last map of Busan, and that's in a no in part 2 cast excellent performance on the Zarya here.
Yeah, interesting. They did not make any swaps coming in. Pretty standard comp. War is in for Charbotron actually, so just looking for a little bit different style of play. War kind of plays a little bit more of a speed-based Lucio, whereas Charbotron plays more passive, more for peel. So interesting to see how this affects their game strategy. But I'm expecting we see just kind of the same comps that we've seen in the past.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest surprise for me so far has been how Cat has kind of kept up with Fancy and the Zarya. Fancy is a carry player in his own right. Just like an MVP, Season 5 MVP, and is well known for the Zarya off-tank meta, and Kath no more for that, Reinhardt, the Winston kind of a main tank player. But he's holding his own weight here against Fancy in a one-on-one duel, and is looking pretty solid for him so far, and the rest of his team's kind of really helping him out here. As we go in on to Coliseo, we are going to be seeing very similar composition to what I've been seeing the entire time. Willfish on that Sojourn has been a difference maker, and Trisha's going back to the Cassidy, something we haven't seen since map 1.
Yeah, I don't know if I necessarily like the swap, but Whalefish has been going crazy on the Sojourn. Maybe you're just worried about that one-shot potential when you're on the Reaper. Actually, Scent makes the swap over to the Reaper. Maybe just feeling like the Mei doesn't get as much value on this point.
Oh, Trisha felt so weak they had to use that nade very early here, but BBQ does get the sleep on etc. The Reaper can't really engage here, forced to wraith out pretty early as well. So a lot of cooldowns are being exchanged right now. No real progress is being made on either side. The stun grenade goes in, but the slow orb is just pelting in a lot of damage right now. BBQ 55% to that nano boost and counting here. But it looks like as of right now, the Beebles are on the aggressor here as Cassie, Paltriste falling pretty weak here. She was composition forces a Fancy to use a bubble. And again, this is looking like that one match where there was like 2 minutes without a kill. It's looking a lot like that so far. Whalefish 100% charge looking for that first pick to open it up. Just misses Paltriste's head there. They do force out the immortality as well. Rusty Goomba. Kath almost has a graviton surge, but so does Fancy. And there you go. Kath going to go down, and the nano is there on a Fancy. Finally, something's going to happen as Fancy, with 100 charge, pushes forward with that nano boost. And is going to have the grab for us next fight.
Whale does find a railgun kill onto BBQ. However, it just was a little too late. Kath fell early to a shot from Papa Triste, so great shot from her. Finding value on this Cassidy pick, which, typically not seen in the meta right now, but as long as she can find a kill, deal consistent damage, it's valuable.
And look at that beat difference charge there as well. Paige halves it, War only 66%. Just a lot of healing done that last fight. Centurion forced to use that Wraith pretty early here, but Fancy has that grab. Is looking to chuck it in here. Yes, he will. Lockdown 3, the immortality field is there, but the window is there as well, and the grab from Kath. But it doesn't matter. They got the pick on Exeter. That Reaper is gone. They are going to find a Triste, so it's a 1-for-1 trade on DPS right now. And here comes Willfish with that overclock. Going to find one. And Cat's going to clean up with the damage. Fancy is kind of stuck behind him right now, but the whole squadron chases him down. BBQ's going to light the kill feed a little bit, but Whalefish again with a huge pick. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, we know Whalefish is popping off and you want to see his stats, but sadly the stats thing is broken for Sojourn right now. But Whalefish is absolutely dominant so far, we can tell you that much.
He's going absolutely crazy in the Sojourn, landing railgun shot after railgun shot. Kind of something we expect to see. I remember previously in last season, he did say this season he was going to be a Sojourn one trick. Something that, we're seeing it pay off already. He's put a lot of time into this here already.
Yeah, and Triste tactically building up this high noon very slowly, so she has it as the only ult in this fight here. War has this beat. Might have to use it early as Etc. flying extremely weak here. And here comes the push yet again from the Shats as they're looking for an engage. Trey looking for his high noon angle. Perhaps a slow orb comes in from Whalefish. 60% to his next overclock already. But Fancy almost has this Graviton Surge, and they're going to lose etc. there with that stun grenade from Trey landing in the damage. And it looks like there's going to be another fight one here for the Shats, unless a miracle kind of happens here for the Beebles. The Seeking of Miracles, Whalefish known to pull those out. Gets that pick, and here comes a late beat, but cannot save Cass' life. They're going to walk in on Tree, but Fancy's already in their backline, cleaning up the kills, finds 2, and going to find a 3rd here into war as well. Former Hawks going against each other, the Hawks on Hawks violence. I hate to see it, but their early pick on Exeter really doing dividends there.
Yeah, Papa Trise nearly did fall there. Currently still low at HP. Waiting for her BBQ to come back to heal her. But, you know, they're just going to slowly push this card, give a little space, wait for respawns, and try to re-engage with a play here.
That's exactly what they're doing. They did get about 20 more meters on that cart progress there, being the Shats. As they're to move in here, both DPS ults online. Centurion looking for perhaps a flank. People, Exeter's meet him there because thinking the same exact thing here. Goes in with the Suzu as well. What a combo there from the Beebles. A nice play. A Kasune Rush comes out from Rusty Goomba. Okay, that might not have been necessary, but
yeah, the Suzu was there. It stopped. Eleanor had a thrown the magnetic grenade, and it stuck onto Elliot. Probably would have killed him if that Suzu did not come out. However, the Suzu does end up saving him. Great Suzu from there. That's the Kiriko value that we were looking for. However, Whalefish does have this Surgeon ult, and Kath is coming up on this Zarya ult. A great combo. Easily lines up kills.
Yeah, this overclock could spell doom here for the Shats. They are going to come in here, and Fancy goes down. Centurion is there with a Reaper up against nothing. The high noon from Tracy, though. She just out in the open against that kill. It's a 1-for-1, but Kath and Whalefish are both down. So I think it looks like it's going to be a fight win here for the Shats, unless a miracle comes out. Etc. is there with the Reaper, but so much damage from Centurion. Gets the melee kill. Slowly is fading away into the shadow. It's going to be Etc. Okay, the Flash gets the kill, the stun grenade, but it's such a back and forth map so far on Colosseo. Only 5 meters separating these teams basically at every single fight so far.
Yeah, this is an absolute banger of a map. Papa Trise getting a big high noon play there, killing off Whalefish, one of the carry players of the Beebles. And we're going to see a full fight here. Whalefish still does have this overclock and opts to use it.
It gets Fancy very low, and the headshot is there! Makes that 2. And yeah, it's a quick reset here, as now BBQ is kind of caught out of position. If he can get to the cart, he'll have to be killed.
Whoa!
Whoa!
He starts going Mach 10 with the stall.
Honestly, hitbox hard hit anyway, so Whalefish here I know is screaming with that Ana headshot hitbox is impossible when he's going.
Yeah, exactly. High value play there. Anyways, the shot station board do have a nano boost coming up here. Most likely going to opt to give it to Fancy here, as they consistently do. Fancy already building up a lot of charge here, almost close to another grab as well.
They are going to have this Kitsune rush as well, though, so they got to aggress early here. A lot of critical members here. They're going to nano. The big sleep comes out there. Whalefish is 1 HP and going to get taken down. But Fancy is critical in the small room. The Kitsune rush is too much damage for him to deal with. A big anti, but it's not going to be nearly enough. Centurion forced to rate the way. BBQ is stuck all in his lonesome right now. Cat going to get the kills, but someone's stealing the bot right now. But yeah, the picks are coming in favor here for the Beebles, and it looks like they're going to take the lead.
Oh, Papa Trise nearly got an exit frag onto War there. That would have been absolutely huge, but ends up falling, dying a little bit late. It shouldn't matter too much here. However, the Beebles will get this early spawn with the cap onto the Colosseo point.
They claim the lead, and they have ults to work with, so if they can get just a little bit past it, that checkpoint's a huge advantage for them. The grabs are exchanged. Papa Triste with the high noon, gonna find 2 kills. Then you need the high noon. Rustigma's gonna find 1, so 2 for 2 right now, so it's not done just of yet, especially with Etc. having this Reaper ult. Could let you go big with it, but they might opt to save it. Triste falling very weak here. Triste is getting healed by BBQ. The Suzu is there. Fancy's on the point, uses a bubble. But Etc. is just being a nuisance right now. This point's not going anywhere. TP's out, but can't quite get it. But they they got it past the checkpoint. So a big advantage here with 2 minutes and 50 left on the clock. That might have been the death blow already.
Yeah, a lot of ults coming in for the side of the Beebles. Scent will have this Blossom here, as well as a nano boost and a beat for the side of the shot station board. We're going to be looking at Scent here to make a hero play. Potentially a nano Blossom coming in here. We'll have to see how it goes. Wraith into the backline. Blossom comes through. Suzu comes there.
And they just get the kill, and they're going to beat after it anyway, just to go aggressive here. They do nano Fancy in here. Beats are exchanged, but Etcetra's getting all the kills. Fancy's gonna find one. The Kasune Rush comes in. Fancy, not done just yet, finds 2 kills on the DPS. But Cap, high charge, just going walking at him, and the Suzu is simply too good from Rusty Goomba. Paige dying solely on the cart, but they used 3 ults there and lost the fight.
That was so bad for them. Etc. still has this Blossom available. I think that kind of falls on the back of BBQ. I think he needed to use that Nano for the Blossom. I think they would have ended up with 2 or 3 kills at minimum. However, they're kind of riding and dying on the hill of, Nano Fancy every fight or bust.
Etc's flanking here with the Reaper ult. There's nothing to stop him here. He sees BBQ. The sleep comes out. Now he's just going to go hard aggressive on this right now. Walking in. Here comes a Suzu. Fancy falling 1 HP. Fancy down. Paige very weak as well, but they do trade on the Reapers. So this could be doable here. Tree State has the high noon. Could look for a flank here, but the slow orb from Whalefish is well placed. Calf has this Graviton Surge, but they might not even need it as Centurion gets taken out by Whalefish with a nice railgun headshot. And yeah, just forced to retreat here. And they're going to get even more progress on this point and get a checkpoint spawns back as well.
BBQ ends an anti-nade onto the Sojourn, however, won't end up resulting in anything. Grab's going to be exchanged here, most likely.
The high noon out from Tree State inside the Graviton Surge. It will kill 1, and they're cleaning up another one with 2. Cap being very patient with that fight, saves his Graviton Surge for a last fight here, potentially, as Etc. is just living on point right now, just being a nuisance and doing his job. And now they're only going to have the Nano Boost here for the Shats for this last fight, probably for on this point of push into a Grav, into an overclock.
Yeah, the Kitsune Rush should also be coming up soon. I think they should get it at least halfway through this fight. If it lasts a decent amount of time, you're going to really need Fancy to pop off here with this Nano Boost and Paige to finish building this beat.
Here comes a Nano Boost in on a Fancy here. Very high charge, walk in the back line, trying to build towards that grab, but a big grab out from Kathek. They're going to lock down 2. The Kitsune Rush is put in as well. They're going to find the kill the slow orb on a Centurion. They're going to find Centurion and Fancy going down the Zen. I don't know what I'm surprised by saying. There's Zarya and the Reaper both down as Kathek just clean up the kill feed.
They need a touch.
Are they going to touch? Whalefish has the overclock as well for his last second touch. Yes, they are going to get as Paige goes in with the blade. It's a 2-man beat though. Only gets the support line. This could be disaster. Paige goes down. Whalefish popping up with the headshot with the overclock. Fancy, you slamming in there, has the armor on the rookie bump, but not nearly enough damage to knock him off this cart right now. It's looking very desperate here as BBQ goes down. War has a beat 4% as well. Here comes the kills. Kathek is just walking in the back line. Whalefish and Kathek are popping off right now. And Paige's first win as a captain is not coming today. The Beebles have won their first match of their franchise history.
Excellent play from them. Personally, I was rooting for the shots they Chambord, but I can't be upset with that one. That was an absolutely insane match there. People's Preds going down the drain. I believe shots they Chambord were favored. However, you can't knock them when Beebles are playing like that. Whalefish absolutely going crazy on the Sojourn. It seems like he's not missing railgun shots right now. Just look at that. He also headshots BBQ at the end there, so amazing play from them. Amazing play from everyone in this lobby. I don't think anyone really had a bad game. Absolutely great performance from everyone.
I'm going to have to be inclined to agree with you on that one. We are, of course, now put into the envious situation of having to decide who is our player of the match for this one, and there are so many candidates here. Again, like you said, nobody had a bad game, and just about everybody had a standout performance on the side of the Beebles to get this win. Again, like you said, they weren't favored in at all. So we have to really take a lot into account here. I have my vote, but I'll let you go ahead and go first and give it to me straight, Doc. What do we got?
I think you got to go with Whalefish, to be honest. We can never get stats for him, but he was absolutely pounding on the Sojourn. Multiple fights where he got 3 to 4 kills. He churned fights around, getting opening picks. I think all of them are good shouts. I think another good shout would be Elliot making the swap over the Reaper. Not one of his signature heroes, but getting a lot of value. But I think Whalefish just popped off more overall.
That would be my pick as well. So we can see if we can get him in here for a quick Winters interview. And I think I've done something with the code that we might be able to get some form of Whalefish stats up on the screen for you guys at home. But I mean, this an excellent showing really from both teams. I think we can say very safely that Paige is not going to go winless this season. I think that they're going to win at least one game. And
you can actually move him in here, correct? Because we're now in the Aurora Esports server.
If you would move him in, actually, because I'm doing his stats right now.
Joke's on you. I don't have permission. seems to see that channel. Okay, I got him. Hello, Whalefish, and congrats
Hello.
on your win.
Yeah, thank you.
That was actually a very good match right there. You kind of swagged down the Sojourn, I'm not gonna lie.
True.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we're actually gonna have stats for Whalefish.
Yo, we get the Whalefish stats.
Yeah,
Let's
and
see, you know.
yeah. Anyway, congratulations on the huge victory. You know, just as a free agent signing here for the Buenos Aires Beebles, quote unquote, because there's technically a recurring team. You know, how's it feel to know that you've broken the Beebles winless curse here and doomed Paige sadly for another first 1 week of not having a win.
It feels good. I do feel a little bit bad for Paige, but we take those.
It doesn't sound like you feel bad at all, but we take those. Insane stats from Whalefish. 46,000 damage done in this game, 53 final blows, 120 elims, 39 deaths. Averaging over a final blow, almost 2 final blows every single life that you're alive. So that's pretty high value there.
So let's see here. So you come in here into this season kind of known as that Hanzo guy, and that's really what Whalefish is. He's the Hanzo guy. Forget the frog time where he's only a Reaper, but he's the Hanzo specialist. He's the bow master. But you kind of made this transition over to the Sojourn here in Overwatch 2. It just kind of has this transition been easy for you, or was it take a lot of practice, or how you get so proficient at the Sojourn so quickly when hit scan isn't really your specialties?
I think I played a lot during the first beta when Sojourn was introduced. I played 5-6 hours a day of just Sojourn. And I was like, this character is really fun. I'm gonna just hard grind Sojourn. So I played that for 2 weeks of the beta, just for 5 or 6 hours a day, just Sojourn. And then I've already played 20 hours since the game released of just Sojourn. So I think it's just playing a lot. It was I think at the beginning of the first beta, it was pretty hard, but it's gotten significantly easier.
Yeah. Main thing is landing those railgun shots, which definitely looked like you were performing on. Had multiple 3-4Ks with them, opening picks, everything. I think you need to work on your critical hit accuracy. Stop being such a body shot bandit, but
It's sitting at a solid 16% in ranked right now.
Honestly, that's not bad. 16% of your shots are an insta kill, basically.
Well, I guess I'll go ahead and do the El Clasico here. If you couldn't be the MVP of your match tonight for the Buenos Aires Beebles first ever franchise win, who would it go to and why?
Definitely Rusty Goomba. He was shot calling really hard the entire time. Calling engages and calling what ults we're gonna use and where we should position. I think if we did not have him providing that that order, we would definitely not have won that match.
Going on top of that, was he the one that thought of the Midtown strategy?
That was actually me.
Well, that was actually
Whoa.
you. You see, when from our perspective, when we saw it, he was standing up on top of that little beacon, staring down at all of you. So we thought he was giving a pregame speech of exactly what to do. So, you know what? Hey, it worked. And also, I gotta mention, is that how Coach screwed up on your attack when only 2 of you made over the train and the other half fell below the train?
That was not how we drew it up. we actually found out about that strat about 15-20 minutes before the game. Because we were screwing around on Midtown in a custom game, and I was on May for some reason.
Hey, if it works, it works. Again, it's not how Coach drew it up, but Coach is happy with the results. You got the kills, you got the point. Anyway, again, congratulations on the win, on excellent showing so far in the season. Buenos Aires Beebles 2, not going to repeat the winless season that Buenos Aires Beebles 1, and we'll send you on your merry way. Again, congratulations on the win, and best of luck to you in the next game.
Thank you.
All right, that's going to do it for us here at the Aurora Esports Overwatch Clash. I know, Trey, you are right now a bit sad. I know that you are not Borpa business.
I'm Doomer.
You're not Doomer. You're Borpa content because you watched a good game of Overwatch, but you're not Borpa business because that your favorite
Yeah.
team that isn't your own did not make the
No,
victory.
it's my favorite team.
Didn't get the dub. Trey couldn't get a win as a non-captain, and Paige couldn't get
It's
a win as a
gonna
captain. It's
happen.
gonna happen. All right, folks, write it down. Write it down. We are going to see Paige get a win as a captain this season because that was an excellent performance from them.
Yeah, honestly, that there was moments where they looked like significantly a better team. There was moments where they, looked. Honestly, I think like they had higher peaks than the Beebles. Beebles, ended up winning it out, grinding it out a little bit, but
Those peaks just being fancy.
Paige's
with
team
Nana.
is not going. Yeah, Paige's team is not going winless. They had an excellent performance there. Yeah, honestly, yeah. I think they can pull off. I think they could still pull off and win the rest of their games through. I'm still voting Cats are gonna win the league. I think they're just getting warmed up, learning to play with each other. They're winning this league. I'm putting all my chips on.
And I'll put all my
no,
chips
but-
on. I won't have to say their name, their French name, until they win a series. If they do, I'll yet again refer to them by their French name. Until then, they're the French kitties to me. But
The battle of the litter box.
the battle of the
is
litter
won.
box ends with the Beebles winning. I think that didn't the Beebles also win the showdown?
The show match.
Yeah, I think they
Yeah.
won the show match too. So the Beebles, you know what? They're 2-0 in the last games. That's all that matters. That's a win streak, baby.
Yeah.
Never thought we'd see the day. Anyway, before we ramble on any longer, we're going to send you guys on your merry way. There is a game tomorrow, I believe, but I don't think it's going to be produced.
Yeah, it's gonna
Cappy
be the
Blappies
Casablanca-
versus
yeah.
who?
The Bricks.
Cappy versus
So I'm
Blix.
assuming we'll get some player POVs, so check announcements for those. They'll be announced if they do happen. If not, you guys can just mark it down as a Cappy Blappies win. Yeah.
Where do you bench?
Don't worry about it. Yeah. I'm actually I got traded.
Oh, actually, huge. He got traded to the Mongolian Mikeys. He's the only player left in that team as he got stuffed everywhere else. But that's going to do it for us here at the Overwatch Clash. Anyways, for Trey, I've been Booney. Stay safe, stay healthy. Have a great rest of your evening, everybody.
Bye bye everyone.